And I just like hand over that like staff to Guy Fong. Like, I no longer need this.
Oh, very
Ooh.
good. Very good. Carol, you have done well. Um, and he turns back to you and he says, rummaging through your belongings. I have. I am done. Find yourself in a blistering white room. It's if you know the hyperbolic time chamber, it's literally the exact same thing.
Nice.
So, it has accommodations for your survival and whatnot. Carol recommends in as empty a stomach as you can tolerate while you perform the
Oh,
training.
perfect. I have an
Um,
8.
Indeed. Past the white staging area, there is a swamp like environment where there's a haze very similar to Drakkenheim, but it's instead filled with spores. Carol tells you that these induce madness if you cannot shield yourself. So as you step out on into the swamp area, um, you kind of like immediately drop to your hands and knees. Um, it requires a thorough channeling of ki only even to be able to like stand yourself up. It's like heavy gravity, basically. Um, and with that, I believe that's it. So I think I will turn off our friends,
All right.
and we will catch up with you guys soon.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yo.
Very well.
All right.
Um, so you stand with, well, I guess you're. So basically, what I said happens. You walk into the chamber, and you
Mhm.
like, or step into the swampland, and you like immediately drop to your hands and knees. And we're gonna not going to go through the whole like deep mechanics of what you need to
Yeah.
do, but basically it's key training. The first part of the training is surrounding your body with keys to like protect yourself from the environment, and then you'll start the martial arts training basically.
Okay. So
Um,
I'm guessing the first one's going to be a constitutional roll to kind of like protect myself from the outside force.
I think we'll do the roll as after we come back out, just so the guys can
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
it too.
yeah, yeah. That's good.
We'll just consider it like you probably do well. But in either case, you're here to discuss with Carol whatever you would like.
All right. I'm just going to have you seen the others? I've gotten a note from one, but have you
That
gotten
was me.
contact? It was you, of
Yeah.
course. I have you met any of the others? Are they here? Are they safe? Have they made it?
Yeah. So they they should have been here by now. The time apart was good for me. We never really had a chance at a normal life or even a solitary life to pursue our individuality. Perhaps they abandoned our mission.
I I can't imagine it, but a lot's changed with me in these years. Maybe, I don't know what's happened with him.
Me as well. I I fear Ronald. He could have done something brash. He was very hot
He
headed.
his temper always got the best of him, even at the monastery.
And Klaus, I I trust him. His absence is more out of character, but
It's the most alarming. Honestly, no offense. I expected him to probably be here first.
indeed, I thought the same. You were Klaus, certainly, but I chose Klaus. He must have a plan.
He either has to be 2 steps ahead, or something must have gotten him. And honestly, I can't imagine the latter.
I agree. I have um, the same reasoning, but
The
in either case, I feel we should perhaps focus on the future.
True. And there's one more question, and I just kind of look at him. I look him kind of like dead in the eye, be like, "Did you know about my family?"
Did you know that they, or did he know that they were in the Black
Alive.
Eye?
Like, because whenever like Farron's backstory, he thought his sister was dead. and
Correct.
he also didn't know that his dad or his older brother went the Black Ivory in. So like honestly, he's kind of he wants to trust his brother, but he also doesn't want to
Mhm.
give him an easy out, which is why I just kind of phrase it as like, "Did you know?"
Indeed. Carol tells you he senses the gravity of the situation, and he looks you in the eye as well, and he says, "Brother, trust me, I had no idea. It's you may remember when we were taken, we were all orphans. We
Why?
were all the only people in our
I
families alive still."
I just needed I just needed to know. And then I just kind of want to like try to like brace myself, push myself off with the might, and I kind of like get closer to him, and be like, "Let's make the most of this year."
Indeed. Um, I'm and as you guys were walking, so basically, as you guys were walking to old guys, you kind
Hmm.
of broke down like everything you guys have done since then, and even more so, you can break down every single detail. So he knows
Yeah.
basically everything you know.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I would have spared no details with
yeah,
him. I feel like as far as like even things that we were hiding from other factions, I would tell Clark.
absolutely.
I would tell them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I assume full 100%
Hmm.
transparency.
Yep.
Um, Farron says, or Carol says, so what do you think our main goal should be when the masters they taught us to they wanted us to come here and seek balance, to restore order, to find some way to resolve the schism, but after being here a couple of months I find that a very very hard goal.
I I've been struggling with the same. It doesn't. It seems like almost bringing all these factions vying for power together is almost near impossible. We can get them to work together, but only when they have a common goal that suits themselves. The only thing I can really think of is maybe if we can't get them all to work together, just find the one that works the best for the people.
Indeed. I There's only one thing that I know is I think we should focus on resolving this religious schism one way or the other. The politics of this land, that's something that can wait for later.
Yes, we don't need a king or a queen right now. We just need a unified front. Whether who that may be, I'm not sure, but the more people we could bring together, the better. As long as they're not corrupt and they have good goals in mind to win.
Indeed. Um, Carol will so you've told him about like those nights that you fought at the Chapel of
Mhm.
St. Brenna. Um, he will provide a little bit of context, kind of pairing in what you learned from the Divine Matriarch's call to crusade, that letter.
Okay.
Um, so he tells you that
Yeah, that
the
letter was rough.
yeah, yeah. He tells you that basically the main Silver Order army, they are either still preparing, they're likely here pretty soon. Um, there was a small force of which the High Flame Keeper Ophelia Reed and maybe a couple of other dozen of knights. They arrived. He thinks a few months prior to his arrival in Drakkenheim. He says that he thinks that they're like a recon force to kind of organize any volunteer knights that may be arriving, and to and that they are erecting a camp outside of the city, closer to Temple Gate.
Upon like
He,
talking about
yeah.
all of this with like the different like church forces and seeing as how we're leaning more on the religious, I want to. What is your thoughts on my sister with being a high flame keeper? Do you think she's safe with the church or with these knights of the Silver Order? Or
Hmm.
do you think she'd be safer with us if we bring her into our fold? I've sent her on a couple of. I asked her to get some information. I've already told him about
Mhm,
this the
mhm.
scepter of Saint Brenna, and I would tell him, of course, like I've asked her to get some information on these artifacts. It seems like people are interested in them, and I'm not sure of the significance of just being like a name or having any power.
Yeah, and he clarifies that. So your sister is the flame keeper of like local
Yeah, yeah.
chapel here in Drakkenheim, the High Flame Keeper that you
Oh,
met there, that's like the
that's the
that's
Ophelia
effectively
Reed, right?
yeah, that's
Okay.
effectively the Flame Keeper of the Silver Order's like army.
Oh,
Kind of
okay.
like uh kind of like how like an army in the past would have been like assigned like a chaplain or like a high priest or something like that. That kind of a deal.
All right.
Um he says, brother, I have to admit the severity of the call to crusade, they the Silver Order has been granted with extraordinary wartime powers. I if as long as your sister falls in lockstep with them, then she is likely free from harm. However, if she has any ideas of her own, particularly in regards to the falling fire, then and he just kind of like stops talking.
You think it would be better if I cut contact with her? The more I see her, the more she could get other notions. Or do you think she'd be better if I try to extract her myself?
Hmm. I'm afraid that is a question only you can answer. It is her
Right,
life that is at risk.
right.
We are trained for this, but common flame keepers
The
are
civilians
just
of sorts.
citizens. Yes,
But I'll I'll have to think on this later.
indeed. Um, in regards to the relics, um, Carol basically kind of echoes what you said. He really doesn't know much about them either, but that was part of your mission in coming to Drakkenheim. Your masters knew that they were important, so you guys know they have a part to play, but you don't
We don't
quite
know.
know. He says that perhaps the best thing you can do is decide who holds them for now as you find out more information.
Okay.
And he kind of bristles at the fact that you gave it to the Queensmen, but he generally trusts your judgment.
Hmm.
There is one last thing we
Well,
need to discuss,
what?
and it regards Lucretia Matthias and the
Oh,
followers of the Falling Fire.
oh, no. Is there an issue? They seem a little bit
I
off, but they seem all right, harmless.
Yes, he says, I must be honest with you. I have visited Lucretia Matthias at the Champion's Gate.
How did that go?
Well, I right after I left the chamber the last time, I was feeling too confident. I thought perhaps I heard she was an old woman in her 90s. I thought perhaps if I go to her, interrogate her, and kill her if necessary. The haze at the gate was overwhelming. She was surrounded by literal angels. I was
Angels.
hesitant, literal angels. I was hesitant to enter, but she came out and spoke to me. She saw right through me, as if she was expecting me. Not only me, but us.
She Her followers mentioned that they were expecting us. They found us once we got the scepter, letting us know Lucretia knew we would receive it and wanted us to follow them. She has some
She
kind of ability of foresight.
she is very powerful. She knows of our masters. What happened to us? She gave me a blessing. She said it
What
would unburden me. What happened to us was wrong, is what she said. I've been at great peace ever since, and stronger as well. It was not only guys training.
but it was Lucretia's as well.
Indeed.
What
I
what was your
I
sense
don't
on her?
I don't know how she achieved this power, but I can only determine that she has been touched by the flame. The stories her followers tell may be exaggerated, but there is some truth. She asked nothing of me, only to survive and to live, as the flame intended.
You think she's worth visiting? We had some
You must.
plans to visit.
Yeah, and you told him about those plans as well,
Mhm.
and he says you must go to her as well.
Well, why? I will make it more important that we need to at least pay her a visit. I believe she's expecting us at Champions Gate.
Indeed. Should I join you?
Would you like to come back? I don't know what your plans are, but you are always more than welcome.
The path is dangerous. Champion's Gate is very close to the crater.
Well, I think the last couple of times we've been in the city, especially the last time we've been with followers of Lucretia, they've been attacked by harpies and chimeras of sorts.
Indeed. I will join you on your quest, just in
Much,
case.
much
It's too
appreciated.
early for us to be separated. Okay. With that, unless you have any other questions for Carol, then we'll come on out.
None that I can think of. I think I covered most of the ones that Farron's been itching to ask.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty, we're coming back to the boys. So Farron, let's see how your training went.
Oh
So
God, but yeah, let's. You
s-
said it was
s-
Constitution saving throws.
yes, you need to succeed 5 Constitution saving throws.
Do I know what
Um,
the DC is, or is it going to be a mystery?
you will not. So why don't you go ahead
Okay.
and roll the first one and let me know how it goes.
All right. First one,
How
rolling.
many key points do you have?
I have 4.
Um, yeah. Did you guys take your long rest, by the way? I don't know if I told
Yes,
you
I
guys to
did.
do that.
I
I
Okay.
did.
assumed we did.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. So
no,
go ahead.
first one, not going good. 7.
A success.
Oh, okay. All right. Second one. Should I roll? Just keep
Yeah,
just
please.
like okay.
Yep. Yep.
Second one's gonna be a 12.
A success.
All right. Third one is gonna be 18.
A success.
Fourth one is gonna be another 18.
A success.
Fifth one is gonna be a 13.
A fail.
Oh, again is gonna be a 19.
A success.
Okay.
So, Farron, um, you you emerge from the hydroponic time chamber with your brother Carol. Your clothes are ripped to shreds,
Tattered.
but you are jacked.
I turned through the
um,
doorway of the tree sideways.
you can go into D&D Beyond
Ooh, okay.
and go to feats. Probably
All
the
right.
easiest way to do this would be through your character sheet, features and
Mhm.
traits, all the way at the
Okay.
bottom, manage feats, and add yourself the feat martial arts training.
Oh, what? Let me get that figured out. Martial arts training.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. And I'll just read off the feat so you guys can hear it as well. Your training in the hydroponic time chamber and mastery of key has granted you additional class benefits. So, first of all, dexterous body. You may use dexterity instead of strength for athletics checks.
Oh.
And we can probably resolve these on the break. Improved martial arts die. So, this gives you better scaling on your martial arts die. Nimble fist. You no longer need to attack first to use a bonus action to make an unarmed strike or use flurry of blows, but you still have to use a key point to use
Okay.
flurry of blows. And then the final feature, which is deflect attack, which I said replaces deflect missile. It basically works hand in hand with it. So basically, the same exact math for deflect missile you can now use for melee attacks.
That's what freaking Peril was doing to me.
Indeed, yes, it was. So as you emerge from, and we'll get into how to incorporate all these. So
Okay.
as you emerge, old guy greets you all with a bow and says, "The training appeared successful."
And I just like hand over that like staff to Guy Fawkes. Like, I no longer need this.
Oh, very
Ooh.
good. Very good. And he says, Carol, you have done well. And he turns back to you and he says, rummaging through your belongings, I have. I am done. And he holds up your family's. He holds up your family's medicine book.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I just dropped that. That's actually shocking. I didn't take that.
I know,
but
right?
yeah.
And he says, very, very good information from this book. New potions I will be able to create.
From what I remember, we were short of one of the main apothecaries for the city. This is the only real heirloom I have in my family. That, and then I kind of gestured toward like the scarf that I'm assuming, since I took off everything but my simple gi, was with my like bag.
And yeah. So you kind of start to like regarb yourself. He says, tomorrow we will have much work to complete.
I owe you a day of potions.
What'd you say?
I owe you a day of potions.
Indeed you do. And perhaps ointments as well. You are dismissed. So you've basically been in there all day, so it's nighttime. So we'll kind of circle back.
You're all good. Yep.
To when you meet with the rest of the guys.
I'm heading back to the house, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. And at this point, so Daniels, I didn't have anything planned for you. So how does Daniels kind of spend a day of relaxation? Is he a fisher? Does he just kind of hang out with Barkus? Catch up with the boys?
Yeah, I think we kind of just like hang out, like kind of like on the outskirts of like the main plaza, and just kind of people watch and just keep to ourselves. But Barkus probably like enjoys the people of the plaza, and I just kind of like hang out, just posted up.
And if hanging out with Guy Fung is something that you maybe would do on a normal day, you could also be there. Yeah. So you might even, maybe you even showed up at the end of the night to kind of escort Farron back to the village. But Daniels, there is one curious thing that you happen to see. So walking around Emberwood Village, you see quite a few wanted posters posted around the village. It's actually a real shame that Roll20 isn't up. We'll have to check that later, and I'll show you guys. But there is a wanted poster for a steel belly.
Oh my goodness!
And
what's he wanted for?
Did you say I was there with this, or just Daniel saw this?
Just Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What's
it says, it says, quote unquote, steel belly, wanted alive for murder of a Silver Order knight. Report to Chapel of St. Brenna with tips.
For the murder of who?
For the murder of for the murder of a Silver Order knight.
Ooh.
This immediately takes you to the battle you guys had at the. Excuse me, I said report to the Chapel of St. Brenna. I meant to say whatever the chapel is called in Emberwood Village. But this takes you back to the fight you guys had at the Chapel of St. Brenna, where you guys fought those knights. So with that,
I want to take that and put it in my pocket to show the boys later.
There's dozens of them around. So you grab one and you shove it in your pocket. Very good. I think we will turn to Bulk, I think, at this time. So Bulk, you mentioned you wanted to commune with Millibot in some manner. So I imagine that you probably so Farron has set off early in the morning. Daniel has set off at some point later that day. I envision this as some type of a meditation session. Do you do that in the house, or do you do that perhaps somewhere else?
Let's just roll with, like, because of the sound on the rooftop and the weather, like I'm just like suddenly like seeking this like ethereal
falling
voice
into a trance.
Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, I like it. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we will turn out the boys once again. and we will return shortly. So you fall into your meditative trance. The sound of the rain, as you mentioned, beating across the roof is hidden just right for you. And you reach out to Millibot within you, and you hear a voice respond. We issue a call, and we answer it all the same. Are you there?
Yes, we are here.
There are memories of a time before. Not only the meteor, not only, and she kind of catches on this word, yours. I have witnessed my own creation. We are not the same, are we?
We weren't, but now are.
The delirium and the meteor, it speaks. And I understand, but I fear it. It is like nothing else we have known. I am trapped here. And you start to kind of feel like an internal panic taking over.
Let trapped here, trapped within.
I wish to have my own space. Please. The shield. Bring it closer.
I grab the shield.
Yes. And almost as if she is directing you, you pull the shield towards your body, and a magical octarine aura kind of shines, and the shield starts to almost meld into your body.
Ooh.
And you hear a voice saying, retract. And as you pull back out onto the shield, this is effectively you creating your shield of expression.
Yeah.
And the face that it kind of base takes on is the face of Millibot. And it still speaks to you, and it's much more jovial. It's like, freedom, freedom.
Yes. Resonance. Have you achieved resonance?
Yes. I am me. And you are you. But
Resounding.
still, it is we. Much clearer now. I understand much more about what has happened to us. The tool. And she references the all-purpose tool. Please do the same. Instructing you to kind of try to meld the tool into your body.
Okay. I follow the will of Millibot.
So you do so, and basically the all-purpose tool kind of melds into your body, and kind of like a a light kind of like blinks on the shield, and she says, power. This is a powerful artifact. If you have need of it, all you must do is call upon me, and I will retrieve it for you. And basically she's saying, like, so now if you ever need the tool, you just kind of like reach into the face of the shield and like pull out whatever tool you need.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's wild.
Awesome.
She says, you need not fear the iron. It does not contaminate like the delirium.
The iron of the meteor?
Yes.
Mm.
We must continue your quest. But there is still much for you to learn. The most simple thing you can do at this time is to craft armor, much like your own. Perhaps we can begin by shielding our allies.
Yes.
All you must do is source the iron.
The iron. We must seek it out. We will find it.
Indeed.
For the sound.
Yes. She's kind of a chatterbox, so she's just like talking constantly now. So she's like, you had goals, a quest for greatness, power, even a master of your own once.
Once. Yes, I recall.
She was like a mother to you.
She was. And she was taken, lost. I don't recall.
Yes, it is unknown to you. The last time you saw your master, Ryan Greymere, you two had kind of bid farewell at your academy stronghold because you were, you might recall, you were kind of up for the like graduation ceremony, so to speak, and you were denied academy membership because of your poor magical ability. Ryan Greymere tried to argue that because you're such a promising artificer that you should be allowed, but you were denied ultimately. So you all parted ways amicably, but that was the last time you've seen her.
I'm just interpreting as Bulk's like
Yes.
mental state decayed. It's like,
Yeah.
Everything's gone, everything lost.
Yeah, and she kind of follows the same train of thought. Like, are we masters without a student or students without a master? The academy took everything you had, but I saw your past. You had nothing.
Nothing.
They
to
took
take.
raw potential, and look at you now. Look at us now.
We ascend. A true form. The potential made whole. Made real.
There is much more. There is so much we still do not know.
Let us seek out knowledge. Let us
Yes.
shield our allies and grow stronger in numbers.
Yes. The academy, they still have things to offer,
But many
even if
things
only
they
for a
wish to
little
take.
while. Yes, but once we harness the true power of delirium, we will decide their fate.
Truly.
There are others as well. The
Others?
wizard they want us to hunt, Yorn.
Have you heard of?
No, she certainly hasn't. But she says, and you recall Oscar Yorn. This is the wizard that
Right.
River of the Academy wanted you to hunt down. She says, I could feel River's fear when she described him. He could be useful, even if he must ultimately be destroyed as well.
May we achieve resonance, harmony, everyone's voice to give. But every part must come to the end of the song.
Yes. Is there anything else you wish to discuss with Millibot?
Do you feel delirium within us? Is it still there?
It is around us, not within. The iron has shielded us. As I was performing the ritual, it was intuitive that way.
That furthers our need for more of the iron.
Yes. The iron is the way for now. We can. So basically, she's telling you, in terms of crafting things, delirium is still outside of your realm of knowledge, but the meteoric iron, she's like full go ahead. If there are anything you can think of with the iron, time to make it.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments, or anything?
Not at the time.
Yeah. Basically, all you would need to craft with the iron is, if you were the one to do it, is you would need kind of your own smithy or a forge of some sort.
Okay, so yeah, that furthers our need for a base of operations, a temple of the sound.
Indeed. Yeah, and unless there's anything else, you can kind of continue the meditation, but that's effectively the biggest knowledge you will get.
Wonderful. That is, we've achieved several steps here towards
Indeed.
the sound.
Indeed. Cool. So I'll bring back the boys. Okay. And we're back. And I think at this point we can probably.
Yeah, let me reset.
Yeah, you want to reset, Craig? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll reset the thing.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back with Drakkenheim.